Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Today we are going to study a new chapter, the study of the past and early people. So, what is history? History is an account of the past, the time before the present. Do you know about historians? Someone who studies or writes about events in history is known as a historian. So, who is called a historian?
Someone who studies or writes about events in history is known as a historian.
Historians use different tools to write about the past. The main tools used by historians are sources and timeline. So, first one, sources of history. What we are going to study?
Sources of history.
Sources are person who witnessed letters, diaries, eyewitness accounts, books, paintings, photographs, stories, song, etc. Buildings and artifacts also belongs to important source. Look at the pictures. These are some artifacts. Do you know who is called an archaeologist? Someone who studies about artifacts such as tools, bones, buildings and other things that have been found from the past is called an archaeologist. Next, timeline. Historians also use a timeline as a tool to study history. So, what is a timeline? A timeline is a scale showing particular dates of historical events over a period of time. Here we have two time periods, BCE, before Common Era, and CE, Common Era.
Sir, then what is BCE and CE?
Historians take the birth of Jesus Christ as the beginning of the calendar. So, the time before the birth of Christ is known as BCE or before Common Era, and the time after the birth of Christ is known as CE or Common Era. For example, 500 BC means 500 years before the birth of Christ, and CE means 2020 years after the birth of Christ.
Sir, could you please tell me about early human beings?
Oh, sure. Early humans are people who lived thousands and thousands of years ago. They don't know how to write, and there are no written records of this time. This period is called prehistory.
Sir, what is the difference between history and prehistory?
The period for which written records are available is called history, and the period for which no written records are available is called prehistory.
Sir, then how we get to know that they lived here?
Early humans left some tools, weapons, pots and pans and paintings on cave walls where they lived. Through these findings, we found they lived here.
Then, where did these early human beings lived?
They lived in caves and shelters made of rocks, branches and animal skins. Do you know why they lived there? To protect themselves from the cold, heat, rain and wild animals.
So, sir, what they ate?
Our early humans were hunter-gatherers. They moved from one place to another in search of food, water, and shelter. They were also called nomads, and the food habits were fruits, berries, the roots of plants, fish, birds, and small animals.
Sir, my next question is, how did they kill the animals?
In order to protect themselves from wild animals and to kill animals for food, they used tools and weapons.
Sir, then what type of tools did they use?
First, they used large stones. Then they found sharp stones were better than these large stones. Next, they attached the sharp stones to long poles and made spears.
Sir, it is very interesting to know more about early people. Now, I'm thinking, how did they communicate with each other and what type of dresses did they wear?
Early humans first used grunts and hand signs to make themselves understood. Do you know what is the meaning of grunts? Grunts means a low sound that is not clear. Your dress seems very nice. From where did you get that?
Thank you, sir. My father bought it for me from Happoli.
But our early humans did not wear any clothes. Later, they used large leaves, barks of trees, or skins of some animals to protect them from both cold and hot weather. Next, we are going to study about fire. Early humans did not know how to make fire, but they had seen fires in the forest. One day, accidentally, early humans found that striking stones together produced sparks, which could be used to build a fire.
Sir, what are the uses of fire?
Fires are used to keep our body warm during cold weather. Second, to light up caves when it was dark. Third one, to scare away wild animals. And the last one, to cook the meat of animals to make it softer and tastier. And thus, fire is one of the greatest discoveries of human beings. I hope you understand. Thank you.